Hey guys, Ethan Studios here, and today we're going to be taking a look at every Lego piece in my collection that's been sorted into these bins here. And there are going to be some exceptions, but we will get to that later. Now, one more thing to note before we get into this is that this is going to be a one-take video, which means no cuts. So if there are any mistakes that I make, please just bear with me. Now, do keep in mind that this entire collection here is sorted the way my brain perceives things to be sorted correctly, if that makes sense. A lot of you are going to disagree with the way I sort things, and that's great. Everyone's mind works differently. It's just about what works for you. Now, for those of you wondering, these are Sterilite bins. Bought these off of Walmart.com, and I've been slowly building my collection of them to kind of get everything fully organized here. Up on the top here, we've got all of my different base plates. Aside from the large, dark bluish gray ones, those are in use at the moment. Over here we just have some of my city buildings, just because I didn't have anywhere better to put them. And then in this guy up here, this is actually where I keep all of my large ugly rock pieces. But we got the top. Now let's go ahead and get into all of these pieces sorted here. We're gonna go from bottom to top, and we're gonna go that way. So starting all the way at the bottom over here, in the back here, we're gonna have all of our pinks, purples, lavenders, fuchsia, all those different colors. This is coral, very small collection of coral bricks at the moment. And then this right here is gonna be gold. Of course, we have this drum lacquered gold, which is a little bit rarer to find, but looks way better than the typical pearl gold here. But I kind of just mixed them both in since I didn't have very much of either. And then these containers here, we got the 1/4 size. And then in the very back here, this is going to be the half size. These I found on Amazon. So if you're wondering where to get those, you can just kind of type like plastic container or something into there. Moving up, this drawer here, got some space back there. That's always important in a parts collection, is to have extra space to be able to expand, because you're always going to be getting new parts. This here is going to be all of my clear bricks, see-through. Just of all different varieties. They're all kind of mixed together. We've got plates, bricks, that kind of stuff. Moving up, we've got my oranges and my yellows, just the most common base colors, aside from this highlighter yellow here, which was, I didn't have enough to make its own bin, so it just went in here. And again, this is going to be a mixture of bricks and plates. And that's kind of what I do for the colors I have less of. They're just going to kind of all find their home together. And that does include these guys here, just the 1x1 plates. But 1x1 studs are going to be going somewhere else. We'll see that later on. Moving up here, we've got more oranges and yellows. This is going to be baby yellow back here. Again, just bricks and plates separated out into there. More space, always good to see. And then this here is going to be the yellow that Skylar uses. I actually forgot. I think it's Keat Orange is the exact color in Lego's catalog. But a lot of this here, really love this color. Moving up, we're going to be getting into reds. And this is one that I really don't have much of. I really need to get a lot more of just this base red color here, because it's very cheap, very easy to find. And the fact that I don't have much of it when it's a very useful color is honestly shocking to me. And speaking of how I got this parts collection here, I have had people message me and ask how I was able to acquire so many. And it's kind of been a mixture of things. First of all, I've been buying stuff off of Bricklink for years, just making parts orders for videos. Let's say I have a giant mountain to build for a video, I'll order a bunch of pieces for that, build the mountain for the video, and then disassemble it. And then I have all those pieces to put into the collection after that. And then also I have parted out a lot of sets that I just didn't care about anymore. A lot of them, I had a lot of Minecraft sets, I parted all those out. Had a lot of Marvel sets that I parted out. And that's kind of the two big ways that I was able to build up this big parts collection here. But anyways, getting back to this, we've got this maroon red here, another really beautiful color. Continuing up, we've got blues. And these are gonna be more of the stranger color blue, like we've got sand blue. Love Lego sand colors. We've got kind of this lighter blue, almost a baby blue. And then kind of a mixture of the two, I would say. Again, bricks, plates, Moving up, navy blue, bricks and plates, base blue. Again, shocked that I don't have more of this. Something I'd like to build up more into my parts collection at some point. Moving on up, we've got all of my greens. And again, this is a huge mixture of different types of green. I would like to separate this lime green out at some point, and probably this kind of base green color that LEGO's been using for quite a while now. And in case you didn't know, there has a small deviation in between these two. There's a darker and a lighter color. LEGO's base plates actually used to be this color of green. And then they switched, I want to say it was 5-10 years ago that they switched to this color of green for them, which is very odd, but it is what it is. And then this is showing up a little weird in lighting, but this is going to be kind of that spring green that we saw a lot of in the Hidden Side theme. Really interesting color. Again, I just don't quite have enough of these to split them out into their own drawers yet, but eventually I would like to. That's kind of the plan with a lot of the mixed stuff down here, is to get their own drawers eventually. Moving up, more empty space. Good stuff. This is my olive green bricks, olive green plates, sand green. Lots of bricks here. I don't really have a lot of sand green plates at the moment. Most of my sand green bricks, actually, I used to have a whole drawer of them. Most of them went into a mock that I built. It was this giant warehouse. I built it a few years ago for my Ninjago movie, Forsaken Kingdom. And that's kind of where a lot of these sand green pieces went, as well as my masonry brick. And then back here we've got teal. These are actually from the Ninjago City Gardens. Really interesting piece. This is going to be more earthy tones. This is actually LEGO's newer flesh piece, so it's the exact same color as like a flesh minifigure head. I was actually able to find this whole bag for very, very cheap on Bricklink. This is a little bit of a rarer color, rarer piece at the moment, just because it is so new to LEGO's parts catalog. So when I saw this for super cheap, I just had to buy it because that could be used for something cool. Moving up, this is where we begin to have a little bit more deviation. So this is brown and dark brown, but it's only bricks. Lots of brown and dark brown bricks. And then moving up, we have brown and dark brown plates. So this is something that I kind of want to get to with those bins down there at some point. And again, this is excluding like huge 10 by 16 by plates here. I think what I capped out on is 4 by. So it's smallest in here is going to be those 1 by plates. Largest you're going to see are these 4 by. And I do have a I do have a drawer for larger plates that we'll get to later on in the video. Moving up, tan and dark tan. One of my favorite colors, one of LEGO's most useful colors. In fact, might be the most useful for me personally, besides the dark bluish gray up here. I could always use more tan, but really nice tan and dark tan plates. I actually have quite a few larger ones. This does not belong in here. These are too big, the 6 by. So we're gonna go ahead and set those up at the top there. And that does include pieces like this, at least smaller ones, edge pieces, just that kind of stuff. We've got light bluish gray. Got a real nice variety of this in here. Some very interesting pieces. Light bluish gray plates. And this is getting pretty, these are pretty tall, so excuse some of the lesser camera, the less quality camera angles up here. I'm working with what I got. Then we're gonna be moving on to dark bluish gray bricks. Don't have a lot of these right now just because I'm always using them in videos, always using them in builds. So this drawer tends to stay pretty barren most of the time. Moving over, dark bluish gray plates, along with the older dark bluish gray color. I only have a few of these, but very interesting to compare to the newer ones. Black plates, 1 bys all the way up to 4 bys, of course. Black bricks, And I include panels in here just because panels are stuff that I like to use when I'm building with bricks. So if you see panels in with the bricks, it just works for me. It might not make a lot of sense because I do have a separate drawer for panels later on that you'll see. But again, all of this is about what works for you. And having larger panels in here just works for me personally. White plates of all different sorts, wedges, 4x, 1x4, white bricks. This is a nice drawer to look at. Sometimes I'll have structures kind of put together. This is stuff that I've probably used for videos or mocks in the past, and I was too lazy to take it apart, so I just kind of threw it in here. That doesn't belong. Got some plates in there. You're gonna see mistakes will be made. Masonry brick, I talked about this earlier. Can never get enough of this. I actually have quite a bit of masonry brick in my collection. All of it is just, or at least most of it, is being used in mocks at the moment. Always use more. This is probably one of LEGO's best bricks to build with, at least for me personally. We've got kind of arches, just architectural stuff of all different varieties. We've got smaller ones there. And then these are similar to the masonry bricks. They're just texture bricks. So you kind of have these with the ridges. And then these ones, which were used in a lot of the old Western sets. Just kind of mixed in together there. Here we've got snot bricks, S-N-O-T, studs not on top is what that stands for. So this is really good for angled building, getting different types of details you couldn't get with just regular bricks. Here we've got studs not on top plates or panels. Don't really know the correct nomenclature for these. They all kind of fit together. It just makes sense in my mind personally. Continuing to move down, we've got clipped pieces. So this is going to include clipped plates and then clipped bricks of all different varieties, as well as clipped bar pieces. Got a lot of different ones in here. And then moving into the back, it's just going to be these, but inverted bar pieces. Don't even know if this is a brick or a plate. Something in between, it looks like. Bricks, plates, and it's just super convenient to have these next to each other because if I need to connect something, I can grab clipped brick and a connector. All right, moving on down. We've got more types of connection plates here. These guys, the brick form as well as the plate form. These are going to be some ball joints, mainly mini ball joints. I don't have a lot of the larger ones at the moment. Hinges. Don't quite know the correct term for these, but these are angled plates, very, very useful. And then turntables. Lots of turntables in there of all different shapes. Moving down, here's where we get into bigger plates. Now, I know a lot of you are going to comment, why weren't these directly under the bricks and plates? I don't know. It just works for me personally. I use a lot of this stuff more than I use large plates. So it just makes sense to kind of have them finish out down here. But this is going to be 6x plates, only 6x. Moving down, we've got all of my larger plates. So anything bigger than 6x. We've got this very strange one here. I think this is from Dots, possibly. Don't know if I'll ever find a use for it, but I'd love to. This was from the City Wildlife sets, which I parted out as well. 16x16 plates. Surprisingly, only have 2, which is larger plates. And then, again, this is not going to make a lot of sense to you guys, because I had smaller versions of these in the plate drawers, but these are just larger. It works for me personally, again. These are really cool. This piece has been around for forever. Another very useful, but just strange angled plates of the larger variety. All right, and speaking of plates, these are all of my weird plates that just don't have a home anywhere else. I mean, What? Huh? Yeah, these just all kind of fit together in their strangeness. And then this bag here is just all of these plates with the little angled ridge at the end of them. Just kind of all kept together in this bag. Was the only place they fit. I couldn't really think of another place. I don't have enough to make their own bin like this, so they're just chilling here. And this drawer definitely has the space for it. Moving on, we've got 1x1 plates or studs. Studs with the hole in the middle. These were so incredibly useful when Lego introduced these. I'm so glad that these exist. Got a lot of studs in here. And then again, these are just 1x1 plates, but in the 2x variety. Right, moving on down. We're making good progress here. This is going to be Technic. So Technic I don't really have organized out too well at the moment, just because I don't build with a lot of Technic. I'd like to get there eventually, but this is a lot of pins as they spill everywhere. This is still unsorted, so literally everything. And then in the back here, this is just going to be all Technic bricks. And then empty. Always love that. All right, we're making good progress here. We're technically on the last one here, and then we have a little bit over there. But starting at the top here, this has got to be my favorite section. This is the minifig maker part of my parts collection here. And how I was able to put this together is I took apart all of my city minifigs, all of my hidden side minifigures, and then I have bought a lot of pieces off of Bricklink. And then Lego's Pick-a-Brick, that when they introduce new torsos or heads or hair pieces, I like to go on there and try and get some of what I can. But all of my other minifigs, Marvel, Star Wars, Ninjago, Monkey Kid, all that kind of stuff stay together in their own separate section, which I may show off at another video at some point. But for now, this is what I have for my minifig maker. And again, this is pretty high up, so I'm going to try and get the best angles I can. In the back here, we have female hair pieces. Female-centric hair pieces, at least. Some of them could be used for male. But again, it's just what works in my mind personally, and what I view as what I would go to grab if I were going to make a female minifigure. If it doesn't work for you, completely all right. I respect that. It's just what works in my mind for organizational purposes. And again, that's all that really matters when you're organizing stuff here. We've got male-centric hair pieces. Again, just what works for me. Lots of cool stuff in here. We've got that gamer hair piece. We've got a lot of these hidden side spring green hair pieces. I don't know what I'll ever use these for, but maybe I could find something cool. Got the J hair piece in kind of this yellowish blonde. This one is cool. Would love to make some kind of funky Zane minifig with this. Moving to the back here, we'll take this out of the way. This is just going to be hats and helmets, including this welder's mask. Random stuff. And then this bag here is going to be shoulder attachments, so backpacks, armor pieces, handbags, and then there are some tails in there as well, like leg attachment stuff. And they just sit in that bag. And then over here we've got heads. This is kind of a mess at the moment, but I try to have it separated out with male heads here. This is just an easier way to view both sides of the head, so I build it up like this. I got this idea from Jang Bricks. Female-centric heads, flesh toned, and then everything else is kind of just, yeah, it's a mess. Got ghost heads here too, and then we just have a random tape chilling in there. All right, moving on. We've got torsos back here. All kinds of minifig torsos. Again, mostly city-specific torsos, but there are things in here, like I got some Ninjago torsos that you could use for other things as well. And then we've got legs. These are going to be printed legs, unprinted legs, smaller legs, everything just kind of mixed in together. Just works for me. And then Friends mini dolls are just hanging out there without their hair pieces because I personally don't have any use for these, except I just took all their hair pieces off because they're useful. But the mini dolls, I don't know what to do with them. So they're just kind of sitting there creating nightmares for me if I'm ever having a hard time sleeping. Moving right along here. We're making good time, I feel like. We've got minifig accessories here. This is such a fun one to look at for me. sometimes I'll just come through here and just rifle through all this stuff. Up in the left corner, upper left corner, we've got mugs, bottles, cups, just all kinds of stuff for minifigs to stay hydrated. Over here we've got treasure stuff, including these infinity stone pieces, trophies. If I can get this in my hands here. Gold. These are kind of staffs, axes, just larger melee-based weapons. We've got masks and wing attachments because, I don't know, they're just here, man. Just what works for me. Feet attachments, so we got skateboards, flippers, surfboards, roller skates, tools. I actually like this one quite a bit. Whips, rakes, oars, jackhammers, shovels, scissors, lanterns, hammers, just all kinds of tools. Got this one here. Again, random stuff. Skateboards, which again, I know they should be over there, but it works for my mind. Wheelchair, teddy bear. This is just random miscellaneous stuff that doesn't have a home. Saxophone, musical instruments, books, anything that a minifig would be using. Lots of cool stuff in there, including this little Eris the Eagle, little mini statue there. We've got food. I love looking at this one. This is probably my favorite out of all these. Lego food is so fun to me. We got this egg piece, this big cake, rotisserie chicken, cotton candy, popcorn, pizza, bananas, ice cream, cookies, just so much good stuff in here. Trying to give you the best look at all this that I can. And that is going to be it for the minifig stuff. It's up here, upper right corner. I know it doesn't quite fit in, but it's just easy for me to come grab right up here. Anyways, now we're going to get back to kind of all the regular parts. We've got the beginning of my tiles collection here. So this is 1x and 2x tiles, square and circle. I don't have a ton of these, so it just made sense for them to hang out here. And then these are cheese slopes, 2x, as well as just the classic 1x. And then these are just dots tiles that I haven't sorted out quite yet, so they're just hanging out there. This is a bit of a mess, these next couple drawers. These I have yet to fully sort. They're kind of sorted in bags, but these are 1x tiles. All my grays, whites and blacks, browns, tans, darker versions of both of those. It needs to be organized. It's something I'll get to at some point soon. Again, having a Lego parts collection is something that's always going to be a work in progress, and I think that's part of the fun of it and also part of the curse of it. We've got 2x tiles, again, kind of sorted into the same color. A lot of these have fallen out of their bags as I've grabbed the bags and used them for certain things, but it just helps for now to at least have them in bags. We've got kind of unique and special tiles here. These are going to be more curved tiles. These are going to be those shield pieces that was introduced in Nexonites, and then some kind of more angled pieces that fit along with them. This awesome drum lacquered shield piece here. I love these drum lacquered gold pieces. It's just kind of hard to show up with the camera at the moment. No, we'll get back to that. These are kind of angled, sloped tile-ish things. Again, the tiles are really kind of all over the place. I have a lot of coral tiles in these too, so they just have their own bags. These are angled. These are kind of the pizza tiles. Bunch more different kinds in here. And then in the middle, this is just chaos. These just mainly inverted tiles, but again, there's a lot of other ones that just don't, I don't have enough to separate them out. And it's easy enough to find them in here. Again, that's kind of the main reason you're sorting parts, is like, what's going to be easiest to find? If I need a white brick, I'm going to go right to the white bricks drawer. If I need an inverted tile, like, I'm going to find it in here. It's not like, again, this is to avoid sorting through a big bin of parts. So this works for me personally, and it's going to stay like this until I have any sort of use for it. Again, these here I haven't mentioned. I don't know if these have appeared yet in the video. These I also found on Amazon. I think they're used for either makeup or for like bathroom supplies, but they personally work great for Lego. Moving on. Moving on. Extra space. Jumpers of all different shapes and sizes. Again, keeping in with that tile and jumpers theme, this is kind of right in the middle. So I have a ton of these minifig stands. Bigger size. These. Just whatever fits into this category. Now we're moving in to foliage. This is kind of organized in the best way I could. We've got flowers, just random various assorted different foliage pieces. We've got kind of the bigger molded foliage pieces like these bushes, these trees. I love these. We've got kind of clovers, stems, whatever you want to call them. I guess these in the middle here are more so stems. And then, I don't know what you're going to call these. Grass? Nah, maybe you'd call this the grass drawer. And then these are these newer, semi-newer leaf pieces that are super useful. And then last foliage drawer is all of the bigger pre-molded leaf elements. Good stuff. All right, we're getting there. We're super close. This is doors, but just the frames. The actual door pieces are in this little bin back here. And these are just pre-molded doors that I don't really know where to put them, so they're there for now. This here is that newer 6x door piece. I was able to find a couple of these at a Pick-a-Brick in a Lego store. Windows, this is a disaster, but there's some rhyme to the reason here. Window frames, bigger brick window elements. These are all of these smaller window panes. And then this is more like car related stuff. I guess you could use this for buildings too. But just stranger window pieces. And then it's kind of just a little bit of a mess from there. Moving on. This is a nice drawer to look at. These are kind of construction related pieces. So we've got a lot of my ladders and fences and gate pieces. And then again, these are more construction based. In the back, we've got roller coaster tracks, kind of this scaffolding tower, this great piece here, lamppost. All right, and again, coming back to what I was talking about earlier with the panels, these are smaller panels. These are a little bit larger panels that are just in a strange shape of configuration. And then we've got containers back there, lots of containers from trash cans, barrels. That's not a barrel, that's a crate. Treasure chests, mailboxes. All right, these are all my stickered and printed elements. Again, these are sorted in a very unique way. These are what I find to be useful. These are what I find to be not very useful, at least to what I'm going to be building, or at least to what I build with most of the time. And then these are just smaller tiled elements, or smaller printed and stickered elements. My apologies. We're 30 minutes in. My voice is starting to fumble over words here, but we're getting close. This bottom drawer here is just miscellaneous. These don't have a home anywhere else, like a slide, umbrella topper, Minecraft fire piece, orange Unikitty tail. Like, there's nowhere for this to go, so it just goes here. All right, now on to this one over here. Again, this isn't as tall as all these other ones. This is just kind of the last area of pieces that I feel are necessary to have. And it's going to be pretty random from here on how these are organized. It's just smaller pieces that I use frequently. Got those stamp pieces, robot arms, flower vase bottoms is kind of what I call them personally. Lanterns, flags, candlesticks, lots of chairs, so many blue chairs. Lots of these kind of grate, smaller grate pieces. There's a lot in here. These are kind of just rods. And I included like this in here too. Included antennas, telescopes, chains, ropes, all those sorts of things. Skeleton legs. These these are all of my kind of lightsaber handles, if you want to call it that, along with like the Ninjago version of that. These guys, wrenches, just a lot of different stuff that I felt like fit together. This here's a smaller one. We've got ingot pieces. These are super useful for detailing. Super expensive though, just because they are so sought after. Beautiful, beautiful drum lacquered gold. And then levers. This drawer, yeah, this is not part of the video. This here is more vehicle related stuff. So we've got axles in the back here. We've got wheels. We've got all of my different just pre-built vehicles, lifeboat, bicycles, motorcycles, scooters, and then cones because they wanted to go here. I don't know why. Last drawer. These are kind of tiles, or not tiles, like dishes, kind of more space style ones, inverted, smaller, and then we've got like animal horns, thorns, teeth, whatever you want to call it, just kind of all mixed in back here. And then we've got stickers, sheets that I can use if I need, some larger blade pieces, and then cotton balls because I used those in a recent stop motion. This box here is random Lego stuff. These are all my vehicles with a pineapple. And then this is a lot of unsorted parts that I need to go through. This over here is what I was mentioning earlier. These are normally all sorted into this stuff here, but at the moment they are not because they've been used for videos and I have not had time to put them back. This was the royal family house thing. This was for an Order 66 Jedi Temple mock that I made. DBX, Shintaro Mines, the Dark Council's lair. Just a mess of parts that will eventually need to be organized, but I'm waiting until I finish Crystal King to go through all this in case I need it again. Get another scene with the DBX at some point in the season. So it's just here. It's a place to go, and eventually it'll all be sorted back out again. And then up here, another box of parts that need to be sorted. Mosaic. These are my ninja stands, or at least some of them. And then there's just a bunch of poly bags down there. Not really stuff that's part of the parts collection. But yeah, that is it for my entire Lego parts collection. If you liked this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you would organize things, if there was anything you disagreed with, because obviously there's going to be. This is just my system and how it works for me, and it's not perfect. It's not in quite the place where I want it to be, but eventually it'll get there. And again, having a Lego collection, especially a parts collection, is always a work in progress. That's part of the fun of the hobby and part of the curse, as I said earlier. But we're all here and we're all in it together. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.